This is the future of light. And customers in this showroom are getting a first-hand look. These are OLEDs, which stands for Organic Light-Emitting Diodes. The thin films have opened up a whole new world of possibilities, especially for designers. This luxury lamp costs 90,000 euros. Powered by OLEDs, it emits a steady, even stream of light without ever getting hot.
Lamps will cease to be regular old objects you plug in and turn on. Light will become a part of architecture. In form, it'll become much more important than the usual hanging lamp over the dining room table.
This is where fantasy meets reality. Professor Karl Leo is one of the directors at the renowned Fraunhofer Institute for Photonic Microsystems in Dresden. He and his colleagues have been working on light-emitting diodes for more than 10 years. OLEDs are coated glass plates that produce light when connected to an electric current. Inside the thin glass films, electrons buzz about, traveling through the various levels of organic materials. And that's what makes them shine.
These are hydrocarbons, and we put them here onto flat glass plates. The substance is just a powder, a dye powder that we bring up through vapor deposition. The levels are incredibly thin. We're talking nanometers, 1,000th of the width of a human hair.
At this test facility, Professor Leo can experiment. He produces a variety of OLEDs, each one technically different from the next. During the encapsulation process, the vapor-deposited metallic layers are bonded between two plates to protect them from air and moisture. White OLEDs can last around 10 years, but Karl Leo doesn't think that's long enough. And he says they're still too expensive.
It's because the materials are expensive, but the production process requires sophisticated manufacturing, and that means high personnel and facility costs as well. It's not about finding the lowest price. We're trying to create the best technology as fast as we can.
Professor Leo is considered a visionary in his field. He believes OLEDs could be a part of our daily life in as little as 6 or 7 years. Instead of turning on lamps, one day we could switch on entire walls. They would be covered in razor-thin lights. But the technology would extend beyond light. OLED displays would become part of our lives, too. The morning news on electronic paper. But laid flat on the table, it becomes a computer. But in reality, there are limits. OLEDs need to be flexible and bigger to be put into daily use. But when the surface area increases, the stream of light becomes less steady, and more dirt particles can find their way into the material. That presents Professor Leo and his team with a difficult challenge.
We have to ask, where do the particles come from, and are they already on a substratic level? Do we get rid of them by cleaning or create more? And can we repair damaged particles with a laser? Those are all things we have to consider.
Karl Leo has lived in Dresden for nearly 20 years. The city has become Germany's center for OLED research and technology. Based on his work at the Fraunhofer Institute, he created a new clean tech startup called OLED. Here, 100 employees are researching and experimenting, trying to make OLEDs more efficient and durable. OLED produces materials and technology, and it offers that information to lamp producers and electronics companies that use OLEDs in their products. The researchers at NovaLED are especially focused on changing the structure of the OLED layers so electrons can flow more freely from one level to the next. Some of the materials they use are more expensive than gold. The company has been successful, but the competition continues to grow. OLEDs are gaining popularity fast, especially in Asia. Korean and Japanese producers lead the way when it comes to screens and displays.
The end game is to get OLEDs into the light market. So far that hasn't worked as well as it has with the display and screen market. So companies here in Germany like Osram, Philips and NovaLED are competing to develop and conquer that industry.
To do that, NovaLED is focusing on creating and dominating niches. Carl Leo has also developed organic solar cells. They could provide energy for OLEDs in regions where there's no source of electricity.
It's great when we go into a store and see our technology, or if someone in a developing country has a better life because of our solar cells. That makes us happy, what we dream of.
There's still years to go before OLEDs are ready for general market use, and Carl Leo and his team will have to be patient. But that's something they're used to.